The video I'm about to show you, I recorded last winter. I never got to post it. I'll tell you why at the end of this video, but I'm so glad I'm posting this now. Hey guys, so this video is gonna be extremely hard to make and somewhat controversial, but it just needs to be done. About a year and a half ago, I made this video. That's the video I admitted that I was burned out, and obviously it's been about 8 months since I last uploaded a video. So I want to tell you guys what happened during those 8 months, and the intention of this video is to really help somebody who's in a similar situation. And even if it hasn't happened yet to somebody, I think it's gonna give you a really good perspective in case some of these things happen in the future. And in order to tell you guys everything, I'm gonna have to go through and dig deep about myself. This is not gonna be easy because this video is not gonna make myself look cool, and to be honest, I don't care. I have 2 kids, married. I'm not trying to impress anybody. So if it means that I'm gonna help somebody, I'll do it. Now there's gonna be some light at the end of the tunnel because I'm gonna tell you guys how I start to create again, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about where this channel is going. So before I tell you guys about things that my mother don't even know, so let me tell you guys a little bit of background on where this all started. So I quit my 6-figure IT job about 9 years ago. It's been that long. So I used to be, last title I had, I believe, was North America Director of IT Services before I quit that job. Now I was doing some video works on the side at the time, but I didn't consider myself as fully professional. So 9 years ago is when I officially quit that job to become full-time video making person. So I started working for actually a really big church. So I was cranking out videos every single weekend. So 52 weeks of year nonstop. I learned a lot from that job. But it was actually 4 years ago when I decided I wanted to do this on my own. So I started pursuing YouTube and really focused on my video business. So that was my peak of my career. I mean, I was fired up, ready to go. That was some good times. But really fast forward, the lowest point of my life in terms of video making and content creation, but it really actually rippled out to my life too, because I was so focused on that. It was my life, right? So my lowest point was really December last year, 2022. I was really burned out, lost all motivations to create, and I was depressed, sad, and it was really lonely times because it was Christmas time, but I could not focus on anything else. I was just really down. So if you asked me a couple of years ago, will you ever burn out? And I would say, even though during hard times and just pushing through really long hours, I would have said never. In fact, I would watch these commercials and videos on YouTube about people burning out, getting depressed. I could not understand it. I couldn't relate because I just couldn't see myself doing that because I was so enjoying what I was doing. You know that feeling you used to get when you first used the 50mm? I had the nifty 50, and no matter how horrible the shot was, seeing that bokeh for the first time, that excitement just lasted so long that it's really hard to imagine now that I just lost motivation to do any creation. So let me be really transparent and just tell you guys about my personalities, especially when it comes to creating process, because I think it'll really help you understand what's going on and maybe give you guys some perspective on this whole entire situation and within yourself too. Because what I'm going to share with you is these personality mixing with this one type of poison. I'll explain the poison at the end of the video. But my first personality I wanted to share is that I am a perfectionist. I'm more of a self-oriented perfectionist, so I kind of don't care about what other people think, but I am very hard on myself. So when it comes to creation, I would nitpick everything that I do really hard on myself to just improve. So it was good in a sense in the beginning because I would just constantly improve because I was never happy with what I created. In fact, YouTube probably helped me kind of let go of some of these things. I remember uploading a video and I totally forgot to put an adjustment layer in the color grade, but I was like, you know what? I'll let it go. And 30-day vlog challenge, this is the time when I made one video every single day for 30 days. I let go a lot. So I have learned a lot through YouTube to kind of let go. But in the core of it, I was always so hard on myself. And second thing about me is that I am very hyper focused. So whenever I work on a project, I can only work on one project at a time because that is my goal. And I was so good at chasing that, everything else just kind of blurred out for me. The best best example I have this is like my room and my studio is a giant mess whenever I work on a really big project. So I'll just forget about everything else, but hone in that goal and not get distracted so well. Now, part of that also being that I'm a very antisocial extrovert. So I'm a more extrovert. I like being around people, talking to people when I'm there. But whenever I work on a project or a video, I am so focused to a point I become super antisocial. So I'm all about like work without any kind of distraction from my friends. But when it comes to my core self and where I'm happy at is around people. So that's why I like the comment section of YouTube so much, because you know that project is done and I come onto the comment section and really enjoy talking to you guys there. Another thing about me is that I never consider myself as like super talented person, but rather somebody who can hone in that one thing and just work on it really hard to be good at it. So I was almost in a sense that I was really good at post-production in life, whether that comes to projects in creative field or just life in general. I love solving the problem at the end because I was able to. Somehow I'll see a solution and I'll fix it, and fix it in post really became part of my entire life. So all these characteristics I can only describe best as a superpower, because it just was so unnatural when I think about it logically, but it just kind of came to me and it allowed me to just bulldoze through any kind of issues or things that get on the way of finishing a video. So I was able to just pursue that and just keep getting better and better at it no matter what the circumstance was. But there was one big problem with this. So the problem or the poison I'm about to describe to you, the concept is intrinsic versus extrinsic reinforcement. So I saw this video by Dr. Andrew Huberman. You guys probably seen his videos. He's all over YouTube, but I really recommend watching that video separately from this video because it really explained to me what that concept is. But what I'm doing to you here is that I'm applying that for creative process. So the example they gave is actually really good because I have 2 kids, very young kids, and I really relate to this. So they studied these kids who would actually draw on their own and they enjoyed it, and they start to give out rewards at the end of the drawing, right? So they'll give out like gold stickers or food, whatever they liked, and eventually they just stop giving that reward at the end. And these kids who used to love drawing on their own just stopped drawing. And again, you gotta really watch that full video to kind of understand the science behind it. But in short, like this basically messes with your baseline and peak dopamine levels. And you guys probably know that dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's responsible for our satisfaction, our pleasure, our motivation. And this whole thing really helped me understand like where did I stop enjoying myself in terms of creating content. And I know I'm talking in terms of YouTube perspective, but I think you can really apply this to any creative field really, especially video making, because the process is so long. But what was happening in my career is that I kind of gotten lucky, and I say lucky because it doesn't work every single time. So I've been successful with several videos on this channel. In fact, I'll talk about another channel in the future, but even without having millions of subscribers, I cannot even imagine if you have millions of subscribers and have this effect. But I kind of start figuring out on YouTube how to kind of tweak the SEO and the tags and the description to really get views on YouTube. And again, the views that I'm talking about are like 100,000, 200,000. I remember making this one shorts, really early stages of shorts. I got like 900 some thousand, almost million views. Although at the time it was pretty awesome. I remember how happy I was. Just views are getting higher and higher. The likes are coming in. Yeah, dopamine hits left and right. But it was a pretty dangerous situation, especially for my personality. You see, all the personality that I kind of described to you, my idiosyncrasies, were actually focused on the end goal very much. It wasn't about enjoying the process. It was literally to chase something. It was idealized by hard work that I put in and the result that I was getting. You see, to get that kind of views every single time, it's almost next to impossible. There's down seasons and up seasons, and not every single video that I passionately made that I thought I was gonna do really, really well just tanked really bad sometimes. And it's those videos that I didn't spend any time on that would do really, really well, but still gave me that dopamine, and I was chasing the next video after next. And again, I know I'm talking about YouTube, but this can really apply to your clients or anything that you do that you focus on the end so much, there can be some consequences. And you might still be thinking like, say, how can you let it get that bad? Like, how does that even happen? And I know it may seem like I don't create a lot of videos because here's the little secret, guys. So the videos that I put out, that's about half of what I record. So there's about another half of that somewhere in my hard drive that I recorded and I just kind of gave up on. So I was kind of honed in the next idea, right? So I was hyper focused on this one idea when it was exciting. But if I have another idea, me being the hyper focused guy, if I start to think of a next project, I could not finish the previous video that I start to make because I'm making the next one. And it's kind of a vicious cycle sometimes. And I have to tell you guys, the money and the resources that I put in some of these videos that never made it out, yeah, it's definitely not to like start messing with your head. And I'm not the person to start blaming external forces, but I have these multipliers. At one point in time, I was pursuing my video business and YouTube full time to a point where I asked my wife to kind of like actually take care of the kids, and she quit her job. And the finance is the other pressure of this whole equation. So the end result wasn't just driven by getting a lot of views, but it really became to a point where like I had to make money on these videos, get those views, get those affiliate sales up so I can actually start supporting my family with these things. And don't get me wrong, this whole entire thing seems like still unreal magic to me. Like, how do you create something, put it out there on the internet and start making money? Like, yeah, I'm still thankful and fortunate for those things, but it wasn't enough to start supporting my family, and it just became a huge financial burden. And maybe I'll go into having kids and what that means being a creator, but there's huge burden on that. This past year, I turned 40, guys. So the pressure of aging has definitely set on me. So I feel like I lived about half of my life already. So looking forward, feel like I don't have a lot of time to start actually being successful and building this whole entire career out of YouTube and content making. So all these dots together just really multiply the imbalance of dopamine peak and baseline for me. I know it seems all like really common sense concept, but I think whenever someone says like enjoy the journey, not the end result, that has like a whole new meaning to me now. And since I'm creating now, the worst part for me is a little bit behind me. So I'm getting better at understanding and really trying to get back at my craft and enjoying the process of making these videos. But since we're in the theme of helping others with this story, I want to tell you guys, this is the controversial part. I want to tell you guys a couple things that really did not help me out. So when I made that video about burning out, how it went downhill from there, even though I was creating, like I was churning out videos, but things did not go well in my head. So these are the things that I would say avoid. And the first thing to avoid is helping others. I know that sounds horrible. So at the time I was thinking to myself, like, if I'm helping others, I'm still engaged in the creative process, so I'll never stop creating. So this was great. Help others, be creative. But when you're not in a good place and really burned out, helping others when you're not well actually has a tremendous downside. And the fact that we're all human beings, and when you help somebody, you're helping another human being. So it's not always perfect, right? And it's really the time management within yourself. So if you're actually cutting out a good chunk of time, you really need to spend on your own, but you're dedicating that to someone else when you're not well yourself, yeah, it can have a pretty big toll on it. So I recommend if you're burned out, you avoid helping other people. And just know that there will be time when that season will come back again. And the second thing that you should avoid when you're burned out is bulldoze through everything. So there's this culture that's been really promoted by social media, right? In 15-second short increment without context, that in order to be successful, you just get up and do it, right? No matter how you feel, put away your feelings aside and just do it. Which is helpful sometimes, but when it comes to being really burned out, you have to be cautious of that. And I believed in this whole bulldoze through, and it's been working for me throughout my career. So that's the only thing I really knew how to do. So I was bulldozing through even though I was already burned out, and I was able to, at least at that moment, create content and do well, but it was not sustainable. And in the long run, it actually hurt me, and that's how I got to my lowest state by December. And one more thing you should avoid when you're burned out is, I know money is really tight, and when you're doing these creative work in the beginning, but you really have to be careful saying yes to just everything. So I was so short financially, I would just say yes to every single project, whether it kind of met my goal or not, which in the beginning of my career, it really helped me to build to where I am today. But it's not something I should have done when I'm burned out, because yeah, I thought I was doing the right thing at the time because I wanted to get out of my funk and just start creating again. But you really gotta be careful who you work with, and it's not a stressful burden. So you really have to be careful with your time and your effort and make sure you spend that wisely. So this is where my audio recorder just crapped out. I was in the middle of giving advice about what to do in this kind of scenario. And I did try to recover the audio using AI, but it just didn't work. So I did what I usually do, which is move on to the next video and the video after that and after that. And this video just got put onto the back burner and just deep inside the archive folder. But that's okay, because that time gap has given me a better perspective and allowed me to have a better conclusion for this video. You see, I can't tell you what to do in that scenario yet. What not to do, yeah, that still stands true. If you're like me and you do those things, you will burn out. But what to do when that happens, this is one of the scenarios where I'm gonna have to finish walking the talk before talking about it. But if I'm totally being honest, I have a lot more to walk. Yes, I made plenty of content past 9 months, but I know it's gonna take a lot more changes, a lot more trial and errors, and a community to do this. I am hopeful. However, you don't know secret, Captain, I'm always burned out. I think we're all are at some degree, but I think it's about how well do you recover from that and how does that affect your happiness and the relationship around you. So if my curse, my superpower is being able to focus on one thing, I'm gonna try to focus on the happiness of creating content. I don't wanna create content so I can be happy. I wanna be happy creating content. So that slight change in perspective is gonna be the theme this year, and hopefully by next new year, I can talk about this. And for 2024, I really hope you can come along for the walk. Thank you guys so much for being part of this journey. Happy New Year.